Hello everybody, Kevin DeBrita from Finch Cadillac. Today I have with me the XT5 Luxury. This vehicle is available in an all-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. And if you're thinking of taking one for a test drive, or maybe you own one and you want to learn a little bit more, this is going to be a great video to watch. Let's take a look. Since I am at the rear of the vehicle, I'm going to use the power hatch on the remote. While I am speaking about the remote, just wanted to go through that quickly. We have our lock button, unlock button, remote start, and power tailgate. This here is to find your car if you need to in a parking lot. A couple of quick little horn chirps and the light flashes. If you hold it, it will get really, really loud. Back to the remote start, you want to hit the lock button and hold the start button for 3 seconds. And that will start your car. It'll run for about 10 minutes. To operate the power tailgate, you want to double click the power tailgate, and as long as it is turned on inside the vehicle, it will open. Let's take a look on the inside at the back here. We've got some releases which are going to pull down your seats. If you've got some larger items that you picked up, you're going to lower the seats from the rear position. Get that vehicle unlocked there, and they will go down just about completely flat. To raise them up, just release the lock and back in the upright position. At the cargo area, this one has the cargo mat, just in case you're curious as to what they look like. That is your Cadillac cargo mat. Underneath here, we do have our inflator kit, as well as lots of storage if you're looking to store some items in the vehicle full time. Across the back, if you have car seats, those are going to be your top tethers for your car seats. There are 3, and then cargo nets are available accessories. They've got the hooks on the side here, as well as the pull shade is an available accessory. It has those spots on the side. We're going to close that up. We can do that using the button at the top here, or the remote, or the button inside the vehicle. You saw me use the door locks earlier. This is your keyless access or keyless access system. Pushing that will lock the door, and pushing it again will unlock the door. If you double press it, it'll unlock all the doors in the vehicle, which is kind of handy. On the passenger side here, we do have a power driver seat. Forwards, backwards, up and down. And then we've also got the recline. This has got that nice Cadillac winter floor liners in there. Bose audio system. I'm going to walk around. Michelin tires on this particular model. And what most people want to see is on the inside. So let's take a look inside the vehicle right now. On the driver door, we've got our power door locks on the top. Mirrors, so you get driver mirror, passenger mirror, and then this would be your control. Window lockouts for the back, and then express up and down windows for the front, and then your rear windows are right here. Driver seat, same power controls we saw on the passenger side. Let's hop in. So I have used the remote start. It's got the climate control working already. I'm going to push the start button to get things turned on, and we'll see our dash and radio all light up. Volume control right here. Get that turned down. So along the side, I'm just going to kind of sweep from here all the way across, and hopefully by the time we're finished, you will have a good idea what the XT5 Luxury is all about. Up top here is our emergency brake. So they've replaced your conventional foot emergency brake with an electronic emergency brake. That's this button here. Push it to set, and then to release it, put your foot on the brake and push again, and it will release. This controls your dash lights at nighttime, so how bright these lights and your radio is. Headlights are all fully automatic. You'll see them on the turn stock here in the auto position. You can turn on your marker lights and your nighttime lights if you decide to do so, but in most cases, auto is going to work for you just fine. If you're somewhere where you have the vehicle running and you don't want the lights to go on, just click them to the off position. The lights will remain off until you put the vehicle in drive. On the very end here, this little silver button controls your automatic high beams. Automatic high beams are fantastic. You can leave them on all the time, and when you're approaching someone or someone is approaching you, it'll automatically turn off your high beams, and when they go away or you're far enough away, it will turn those high beams back on for you so you've got the best visibility. Here's our steering wheel controls. You can see lots of buttons here, a little bit of sun. This will control your radio, so you can go up and down through your different radio presets. And you see right now they're showing on the driver information center. On the opposite side, we have our heated steering wheel, great for the wintertime. Forward collision alert. See the gap adjustment there. And our lane keep assist. The forward collision alert, what that's doing is it's using the camera right behind the rear view mirror to take pictures. I believe it's about 12 pictures per second. And if you get too close to the car in front of you, you'll have a series of red lights pop up on the window here and beep, 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 just reminding you it's probably good for you to hit the brakes. Otherwise, you're likely to hit the car in front of you. Really great feature. It can be turned off, but most of the time I do leave it set on my vehicles. I find the large gap works best for most people, but if you are a bit of an aggressive driver, you may want to go with a shorter gap. Below that, we have our lane keep assist. This will activate once you go over 60 kilometers per hour. It again uses the camera behind the rear view mirror, and it's watching the lines in the road, both on the right and the left. In the event you get a little too close to one of the lines, you'll actually feel the steering wheel nudge you back into the lane. This system is not designed to keep you in the middle of the lane. It's just trying to catch you occasionally if you're drifting outside of the lines. Above this, we have our cruise control settings. This is our on-off cruise button. You can see that little white light flashing up there. That's cruise on, that's cruise off. And then when your cruise is on, you have your set at the bottom and your resume at the top and your cancel in the corner. So let's assume you're doing 100 kilometers an hour. You come up along some slow traffic. You don't want to hit the brake. You're just going to cancel. And then when it is time to resume your cruise control, just click on your resume button. You will notice on both the set and the resume, it's almost like a double click. Really fantastic feature if you're going through different speed limits, whether you're going from back roads in through the city and then back into back roads again. That single click is going to move the setting by 1 kilometer an hour. The double click, which you might be able to hear there, will move you to the nearest 5. So you're going from 112 kilometers to 115 kilometers to 120, and then if we needed to slow down, 115, 110, 105, and 195. Very easy to use. I absolutely love the way this cruise control is set up and that double click feature. Before I forget, I want to touch base on the fuel gauge. This is your fuel gauge, and these little dots here are how much fuel you have. When the car is full or the car is empty, it's very difficult to tell how much fuel you have. So just remember, those dots are going to let you know how much fuel you have. Also, right up at the top here, we have our range indicator. Currently, we can do 821 kilometers based on how this car's been driven over the last 34 kilometers before we need to refill with fuel. Below that, we have our driver information center, and that is operated right here. So we can use those arrows to go through. We have our fuel range, our oil life, our tire pressures, average fuel economy, and a blank page. We can also get in there and change our information pages. So across the top here, we have our information menu. Moving over, we can move to our music, which is telling us what we're listening to right now. If you have your turn-by-turn active, the OnStar navigation system, your directions can show up in here. This right now is just showing us our compass. Phone, obviously Bluetooth connected phone. Once you have your phone connected, your phone information will show up in this screen. And then this is where you would look to make changes. So if you're traveling to the US or in the US traveling to Canada and you need to switch from miles to kilometers, that can all be done right here. And now we are in miles per hour on both the digital and the analog. And our climate control settings have been set to Fahrenheit. I'm going to switch those back right now because we don't want anybody getting any speeding tickets here in Canada. back to metric. Info pages, we can actually pick what we want to look at when we're looking at our info pages. I apologize, it's a little blurry right now. But we've got our speed. There's 2 different trip odometers you can turn on, your fuel range, oil life, tire pressure. This vehicle also has a built-in air filter monitor so that you can find out if you're getting close to needing a new air filter. Average speed, timer, following distance indicator will tell you how many seconds you are behind the car in front of you, as long as you're within 2.5 seconds. Driver assistance, that will show our lane keep assist right here. Just a different view of it in your driver information center. Battery voltage, coolant temperature, engine boost. If you're wondering how hard the turbo is working, this is the 2-liter turbo. And then we have our transmission temperature and off-road mode. So I just turned a bunch of those on so we can have a look at it. Move into our display. So that is the small screen up at the top here. So right now we have our speedometer, we can add the time, and we have fuel range. So you can see the time just popped up there, 9:21 a.m. I'm going to move back, and now that we've made those changes, I'm going to go back into the information screen, and you can see this little scroll bar on the side here. Right there, that ticker got a little smaller. That means we have more information. So trip 1, fuel range, oil life, tire pressures, air filter, fuel economy, battery voltage, coolant temperature, engine boost. It's not going to be doing anything right now because we're idling. Transmission fluid, and this is off-road mode. This is really cool. Not that you're going to take your XT5 off-road very often, but it shows you what degree the steering wheel is at if you have it turned. Also will show you if you're tilting forward or backwards, as well as right to left. Currently we are in 2-wheel drive mode. We can move that into all-wheel drive mode, and that'll show both on the very bottom of the display as well as right in the middle there. While we're talking about all-wheel drive, you're going to control that using this mode button right here. I'm going to push that so we can cycle through. So we have our touring mode, which is your front wheel drive, 2-wheel drive position. Then you have all-wheel drive, sport mode, which is also all-wheel drive, as well as off-road mode. Sport mode is going to make the vehicle drive a little more rear-wheel drive than front-wheel drive to give you better performance characteristics while driving. And off-road mode is great if you're in any off-road conditions or loose gravel. It's just going to change how the all-wheel drive system works in order to optimize the way that it works. Down through the center console here, I'm going to start with the transmission. If you're not used to this type of transmission, it has like a home position. It's always going to be here until you move it, and then once you move it, it's going to reset back to here. You do need to push the shift button to engage the transmission. Many people think it's this button up at the top here. That's actually your parking button. Shift button, you're just going to naturally grab on the side with your thumb here. Move the vehicle into drive, and those lights will be solid. It's just the camera that's making them flash. We are now in drive. It'll tell you here as well as up on the top in the bottom right. If you pull it back again, it's going to move us into manual mode. Manual mode is going to allow you to pick what gear of the transmission you want to be on. So we can see we're in M1. And if we were driving, we could go to M2, M3, M4. That's all being adjusted by right there. So we've got those on the driver side and passenger side. You can see the top of it just kind of peeking out there. Usually what happens is you put it into manual mode by accident. You were accelerating and you were holding onto the shifter, and now you're in manual mode and the vehicle won't change gears. Just pull it back one more time. It's going to move you into drive. So we've got drive, manual, back to drive, push it all the way forward. We go into neutral, back into drive. To go into reverse, we're going to have to hit that shift button again. So shift button puts you into reverse. Your rear camera illuminates, and it also states that you are in reverse right here. While we're looking at the rear camera, you'll notice we've got the turning lines here, which will help you guide yourself into the proper position when parking. If you prefer not to have the grid lines, very easy to turn off right there. I'm going to put the vehicle into park. There you go, foot off the brake. And talk about a few more things down here. This is your traction control. Traction control is something you'll likely have on all the time. It's sort of the default setting. But if you ever got stuck and needed to rock yourself back and forth out of the hole or the divot that you've created, you're going to want to turn off your traction control so that you can rock back and forth. Over here, we've got controls for the radio. Small knob is your volume knob. This knob here is going to control the radio. If you don't want to use the touchscreen, you can twist, see if I can get everything in the shot here. You can twist it back and forth to get to what you're looking for, and then just click down in order to get into that menu. Now you'll notice you've got 4 arrows currently. This allows us to move over into this menu, or over into this menu, or even back down to our home screen. So let's assume we wanted to change the sound. We're going to go over to the sidebar menu. I'm going to click down into the sound menu, and now I want to go over so I can adjust my bass. I'm turning the knob now to give me a little more bass. I'm going to go over to mid-range. I like mid-range, and I like to add a little extra treble. And if we need to go back, this is our back button right here, and we're back to the radio. So currently this is the Sirius XM band that we're listening to on a brand new Cadillac. Right now you get 3 months complimentary, and they will contact you when it's time to upgrade your service, or the service will automatically discontinue 3 months from now. AM, FM, and then down on the bottom here we've got more. This is going to allow you access to your Bluetooth music if you've got music on your cell phone, or if one of the bands is not showing on the main screen, it will be in that more section. I'm going to put together a separate video about the radio and the settings and things that you might want to adjust on your vehicle. It looks like we're already about 15 or 16 minutes into this vehicle right now. I'll touch base on the climate control, and then we'll leave this video as it is. So we do have automatic climate control. That's this button right here. You'll notice when I turn on automatic climate control, it's kicked up that fan speed because we're not at 16 or 18 degrees in the car yet, and it's doing everything it can to get to that speed. What I suggest is picking a temperature that you find comfortable, and you'll notice that fan speed has kind of kicked down a little bit. If we go a little warmer, it'll kick down even more. I always use the temperature to control how much my fan is working. So for example, if I'm a little warm still, the fan's kicked down, I'm going to go down to 21. The fan will kick up. Once I'm comfortable at 21, then the fan speed will kick down again, and I can go down a little bit cooler if I decide to do so. If you like doing everything manually, no problem. Pick your temperature, pick your fan speed. That auto button will just turn off automatically. On the outside, we got our heated seats, high, medium, low, and off. And then across the bottom, automatic climate control, which we have picked. Recirculatory air, if you're not in auto, you can turn that on. That'll keep air inside the car as opposed to taking fresh air from outside the car. We can completely turn off the climate control system, and then we have a couple of speed buttons here. Front window starting to fog up, very easy to put it on. Front defrost, and then of course your rear defrost at the back. Up at the top here, almost forgot, this one's got a little sunglass holder. In some of the upgraded models, you actually lose that and get a different feature. We have our garage door opener here, which is easily programmed for most garage doors. Our interior reading lights. OnStar system, you'll want to make sure you activate your OnStar in your new Cadillac so you can get your 10 years of complimentary coverage. And then here we've got a couple of buttons for the interior lights. So right now when I open up the door, lights should come on. There we go. And close the door, the lights will fade down. If I have this turned off, when I open the doors, the lights will stay off. And then I also have an override, lights on, lights off. So there is a quick override of the Cadillac XT5 Luxury. Again, I'm sitting in the all-wheel drive version. These are also available in a two-wheel drive. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope you found this video helpful. Have a great day from everyone at Finn Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.